Portugal, the fastest colonizer in-game. 41 very unique missions, including the ability to gain a foothold in India completely for free. But while having all of this great unique content and playstyle already, Portugal is still lacking one thing to compare with the biggest great powers in-game. That is a unique government mechanic. Because let's be honest, the Portuguese Tier 1 reform is not good at all. I'm the student, and this is how you can get Empire rank as well as one of the strongest government abilities in EU4 as Portugal within less than 40 years while gaining huge gold fleets along the way. This is how you can create the Portuguese Blood Empire. And while you see the most important parts of the Portugal opening in the background, let me just take a few minutes here to talk about the first 40 years of preparation for this strategy. And if you just want to see the actual trick without the path to get there, then feel free to just skip ahead through the timestamps in the video to about 5 minutes into the video. And if you're still here now, let's just have a talk about a very fast Portugal rush to Mexico region. So the biggest advantage that Portugal has in early game is actually not the explorer, it is the discounted advisors. You can see that I took the Moroccan coastline here very early because there is a mission for taking that gives you a discounted Inquisitor, so admin advisor, that is 75% cheaper. And Portugal also starts with two 50% cheaper Diplo advisors, as well as you can get a cheaper trade efficiency advisor through the estates agenda. So with that, I was actually running level 4 admin advisor and a level 3 Diplo advisor while also focusing on admin, which is why I took the 5th admin tag and the first colonizer from expansion ideas earlier than anyone could get it. And then with the burger privilege and the first national idea of Portugal, and with the insane flagship ability, I could then discover America and the Caribbean very early, therefore get a super early golden era without even waiting for the Renaissance, and then of course also a very early Portuguese age ability, and with that a super fast colonization. And you can see in the background that I chose to take the Colombian provinces as first colony because they are the closest because of the trade winds mechanic. And then I hopped onto Jamaica and then into the Mexico region so that I could make a claim and immediately attack the Aztecs land, focusing the conquest on Aztecs culture provinces and not coring more than 4 provinces, so that then all the other cores all finish within the same month, which is very important for the strategy to work. And now you can see that all of my provinces in Mexico over here are already almost cored. So you can see 97.8%. And the interesting thing is that you can do this strategy without moving your capital, without missing out on colonial nations and treasure fleets for that matter, which you have on top of that. You know, you want to conquer Mexico anyways for the treasure fleets, right? So it's basically a win-win situation here. Let me just show you how it's going to go now when these provinces are cored. So first of all, of course, I have to wait for them to core. And I did it the way that all of them cored the same time. I right now have only 1, 2, 3, 4 provinces in Mexico and therefore no colonial nation yet. So if I wait literally 1 day over here, you can see that now I have all of that cored, which means that I can state that now, And the interesting thing is that I won't form a colonial nation now until the next month tick, okay? Which means that I can now literally do everything I want with these provinces until the month tick. I could even move my capital, for example, but I of course don't want to do that. I want to have the colonial nation, but I also want to have the Aztecs OP tier 1 reform, right? So let me just state all of these Aztec provinces up. Actually, you can see that this is a quite large culture group over here. So it doesn't actually take a lot to embrace that. And then all I have to do is, of course, to get rid of some other states over here, including, sadly, one of your Portuguese provinces, or states actually, which sadly otherwise you won't get it, but there it is. You can see the Aztecs culture has now 51% of my stated development, and therefore I will now lose the Portuguese monarchy, which only gives me plus 10% tax, plus 20% sailors recovery, and plus 20% force limit. So really not a very good monarchy reform over here. But anyways, as soon as I flip to the Aztecs as primary culture, you can see that this now changed my tier 1 government reform, as you can see, which means that I can take a government reform for free now. So I don't even have to pay a reform progress for that. And I can now take the Aztecs Empire reform, and let me just take it real quick. You can see already what it does over here. It gives me limited design subjects as well as a fixed empire government rank, and of course the unique blood mechanic. There you can see now I'm an empire as Portugal in 1486 with only 400 development. And you can already also see that I literally have now the blood mechanic of the Aztec Empire. So, and you can see after I took this 15 blood over here, I can already take this one the first of all, to actually change the deities to whatever. Yeah, this is the graphical mod, of course, but I can take whatever I want over here. Of course, I have the morale thing already enacted, as you can see down there, which is why I cannot change to that one. But there is also a morale boost over there, as well as manpower in primary and accepted culture plus 15%, so very, very strong. And then on top of that, I can always choose, like every 20 years, I think, choose which other deity I want to take, which includes this first one over here, core creation cost minus 15% and AE impact minus 10%, which stacks of course very well with espionage and the H ability, for example. And then you can also take minus 20% construction cost and minus 10% death cost in primary culture provinces, as well as minus 3 national unrest and plus 3% missionary strength. Very, very strong modifier over here. And as all of these are of course pretty strong, I'm just going to take the core creation cost and aggressive expansion impact right now. And the way that it works is that you gain this maximum bonus if you have 100 blood, basically, over here. And you can see that it right now goes down because I'm at peace by 0.05, but it goes up by 0.1 because of this one over here that I just enacted. So it literally goes up passively right now. But also on top of that, I can just declare wars and get casualties in battles, which gives me 0.1 per 1000 casualties in battle, up to a plus 20 maximum per battle only, which means that I can fill this up immediately, basically, by just fighting some more natives over here. And now the interesting part is, even though I am now Aztec's primary culture, I can of course, restate everything else again, as you can see now. even though I'm Aztec primary culture and I have the Aztec Empire reform and the Aztec Empire mechanics over here, the Blood Empire mechanics, if I wait 1 month, I will still gain a Mexico colonial nation, as you can see, because my capital is of course in Europe. And now you can see they are already making so much money from gold. So I'm going to get insane amount of treasure fleets over here very soon. And I can of course feed all of that to my subject now. So literally right now I am a completely normal Portugal, capital in Europe, colonial nations everywhere, European tech group, Portuguese missions. The only difference is that I have not the shitty tier 1 Portuguese reform, but the insane Aztecs Empire reform, which makes me an immediate Empire rank, as well as gives me a super strong government mechanic for, as you can see in this case, whole creation cost and AE impact at maximum, and you saw the other modifiers that were there, all of them are super strong, and this is super easy to get just by fighting wars or just by waiting passively. Super easy to get to 100, and I think that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this little tactic, and I hope you can use that in one of your Portugal games, or actually any other European game actually works as well, of course. So hope you enjoyed the video for today, and we are going to see, as always, either on Wednesday at Parabellum or on the next Monday.